Well, good morning and welcome to Coffee Chat with David and Kylie Knight.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, like David said, and today is Friday, April 10th. That's what my phone said, so it must be true.
It must be true.
2020.
If you are joining us, and I see a couple of you back there in the background, be sure to use the hashtag HelloNights or hashtag Cup of Awesome.
Yes. And
we named that after her.
Cup of
Awesome.
You're cute, babe.
I think so.
Or and those who are watching on replay, because not everybody has the joy of watching live, you can put hashtag replay, or as David likes to say,
hashtag hash browns. Just because hash browns rock.
So yeah, be sure to pop on and say hello. Let us know where you are and what you've got in your cup this morning. We have another cup of coffee.
We do.
You know it's our favorite right now. It's the blonde espresso from Starbucks.
So good.
And
well, okay, hang on real quick before we do that. I want to say hello to Michael Laws. Good to see you this morning.
Hey, nice.
And I do want to clarify something.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of people seem to think that because we drink the Starbucks blonde espresso, that it's like the only coffee that we like. And that's not true.
That's not true.
No. But we just like the fact that it's easily accessible. It's very consistent.
Yes.
And it's very smooth. So,
yeah.
But we do like other coffees.
It's true.
And now we have ways to make other coffees. You want to say it?
So, if you watched our last week's several episodes when we had some guests on, you probably saw and heard that our old coffee machine died. A very sad death. David tried fixing it, but it was like 7 or 8 years old, our beautiful espresso machine. So it had a really good life. It really did. It was well loved. But we had to let her go. And
I tried to fix it.
For several days, David was, we had a backup plan because we knew the day would come eventually. So David had a mini grinder to grind our coffee beans. And then we had this very small French press.
Yes.
It wasn't great, but it did the job. It did the job. We got the caffeine that we needed. Yeah, it was okay. But this past week was my birthday, and in a couple of weeks it's David's birthday. So my parents were asking, like, what can they get for us for a birthday?
Yeah. And
the timing couldn't be better because we said, our coffee machine just died, and I was talking to Mom, and I was like, oh, it's so sad, poor us. And so Mom's like, well, what if we got you a coffee machine for your birthdays? And I said, well, if you did that, that would like be birthday and Christmas combined. And they said, okay. And
so here you go. That's the new machine. Look at her. Isn't she pretty?
She's so pretty.
So pretty.
She's very similar to our last machine in that it just, it's got a hopper at the top for the beans. It's got a little water tank on the side. So now, as long as those two are filled in the morning, we just push a couple buttons.
It's quite nice.
Got to make the sound effects that go with it.
The sound effects are important.
You see the little frother on the side of it too, so we can froth milk.
Yep.
So good.
It's pretty good. It is happiness.
So thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you.
Yay. And then I see, let's see, Nikki said we just had to get a new coffee pot too. Oh, died about a week into quarantine. Oh.
It's awful timing, isn't it?
It's terrible.
All the time.
Coffee's dying during quarantine. And Josh Kohler says, nice. Yes, it is nice. We like it very much.
Yes.
Man, we were supposed to be with you this week. We kept thinking about that. On your birthday, in fact.
It was. I was so looking forward to that.
Oh, well.
I hear.
Yes, I'm just making sure the audio is working okay.
Oh, okay.
Because, sometimes audio is weird. All right. Well, as you guys know, we have been trucking right along with some amazing interviews.
Yes.
We had a week of interviews.
Last week,
and it was so much fun, and it wore us out, so we had to take the week off.
Yeah.
But we had a ton of work to do this week.
But we begged and pleaded to the great Ryan Fontenot to come join us.
And he said, sure.
Sure.
If we paid him enough money, he would do it. So real quick.
Like, he's worth it. He's worth it.
He is worth it. Ryan Fontenot is the founder and lead communicator for R.A.G.E. Ministries. R.A.G.E. exists to proclaim the gospel of Jesus and to prepare the next generation to do the same. Since 2003, Ryan has spoken to hundreds of thousands across North America, doing really well, by the way,
Yes.
and around the globe. With a gift of passionate and creative preaching, God is using Ryan to point this generation to Jesus and equip them to reach others. Ryan lives in Fort Worth, Texas, and is married to his high school sweetheart. She's adorable, Heather. And together they have 3 children, Elin, Inley, and True. So please welcome our good friend, and now yours. Oh no, of course it decided not to switch when I wanted. Ryan Fontenot, and you're gonna have to unmute yourself because there you go.
Think we're good?
Got you, man.
There.
What's up, my friend?
Ryan.
Yeah, I'm doing awesome. Thank you guys for having me on today.
Oh,
This is you guys have a serious setup here, man. I love this.
We try to, it's funny. Sorry, I'm just double checking the audio. We have been doing these videos for well over 2 years now, and so this whole switch to kind of going digital and doing video, we're like, we got that.
This. Yeah,
I got this. We've been doing this.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, I love it.
What are you drinking this morning?
Oh, what am I drinking this morning? I'm drinking actually H2O, man. Just
good
water
for you.
Right now. Water.
We got that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll do so I'm trying to do this 100 ounces of water a day, but it's keeping my cardio up because I have to make many trips to that.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that's true.
A little water this morning. My daughter did though make me a cafe mocha this morning.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah, she did.
It's a good daughter to have.
My 10-year-old daughter.
Really?
So
Wow.
it was. Yes, it was good. It was good.
That's
so,
good parenting right there.
He's good parenting.
That's right. That's exactly what I was saying. Mama raising them right.
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
for sure.
Well, cool. And I noticed you got your branding. I will say one thing about Ryan. His branding is on point.
Oh, for sure.
You never see him without a Jesus Saves Bro shirt or sticker or.
Love it.
Yeah, I got 210 on
210.
today. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, people think it's just to market my stuff. It's because that's all I have.
That's true. People don't realize, like, when you're buying stuff, you have to buy it in bulk.
Yeah.
And so you just got tons. It's like,
Or you're on the road and suddenly you run out of T-shirts, so you go into your
100%.
supply.
Pull one out. But I do have a saying. I have a couple of friends that are like, man, you always wear your stuff. I was like, look, I'm not going to print anything that I wouldn't wear. So that's why I wear it, because I like it. So.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you got our hats back here. It's my little hat rack here I've got. So, yeah, I throw those on sometimes.
Well, it's funny about the hats because, for so long I've resisted getting hats because, normally my hair is like all kind of spiky. And quarantine is killing me in the hair. So I'm thinking hats might be my new thing.
Good. I like it. It's looking good, man.
It's either a hat or we shave it.
Yeah, there you go. I have to send you a hat.
There you go.
Perfect.
I take it now.
Yes.
That's right, man. That's right.
There's a whole lot going on right here.
Which is good because there's not a whole lot going on in here.
Oh, no, baby.
Well, Ryan, we are glad to have you here. Tell us about, we know a little bit about, but I wanted to let our friends know about R.A.G.E Ministries. What is it? Why did you start it? What does it stand for?
Yeah, R.A.G.E. It's not an anger management ministry, although maybe that would be something to get after right now with everybody being quarantined together. So, but no, R.A.G.E Ministries simply stands for Reaching a Generation Endangered. And, we talk a lot about endangered species, and it was, honestly, now it's been about 20 years ago where the Lord just kind of opened up my eyes and broke my heart for the next generation. And I was in student ministry, but I was just seeing a different generation come up, a generation really that's spoken of in Judges 2:10, which is what this shirt's about actually, but Judges 2:10 that says there grew up a generation after them who knew not the Lord nor the things that he had done. So those two things, they didn't know the Lord nor the things that he had done. And I was like, and that's this generation. When you look at what we call Generation Z right now, those born, those that are about 20, 21 years old and younger, the statistics are telling us that 35% of the teens in the U.S. either claim to be atheist, agnostic, or have no religious affiliation at all. And so when we're talking about an endangered generation, this is what we're talking about. So our heartbeat, very simply, is to take the gospel to the next generation, and then, as you read earlier, to prepare them to do the same. So we don't want to just preach the gospel to them, yes, but we want to actually equip the next generation to take the gospel to their friends as well.
I love it. I love it. And you really do just a fantastic job. We've gotten to work with you a couple of times. It's
man.
Always amazing to see how you engage those students. It's beautiful.
And this is exactly why we wanted to have him on here.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Well, you guys, I told y'all that, man, we're together, and you guys set up well. I just love working with y'all. Y'all are a blessing. So thanks for, thanks for, God just brought us together. It was like we worked together before, and we never had, and it was awesome. So thank you guys.
Well, yeah, I remember that was the funny thing. The first time we actually did get to work together, we'd been talking online for so long, we felt like we knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was awesome.
Exactly.
All right. So, how is your ministry adjusting with this whole outbreak, pandemic stuff?
Yeah. So, not unlike you guys. I mean, I travel full time. I'm on the road. I'm at events. I'm at Weekend Disciple Now, youth camps, one-night events, conferences, camps, all of those things. And so, man, when all the gatherings got shut down, man, it was like, okay, all right. So, I think we've had 14 or 15 events canceled now, and so we're like, okay, what do we do? How do we, like you said, how do we pivot in this season? And so, thankfully, now I haven't been doing a show for 2 years like you guys have, which is awesome. Y'all are ahead of the curve. But we have had a pretty consistent online presence in social media and things like that. And so, thankfully, man, we were just able to just ramp up that game a lot. As well, we started videoing. I produced an entire online course on how to share your story. I believe in this season, people are looking for hope, and one of the things that they need is to hear our stories of hope, our salvation stories. And so we produced a whole online course on how to get your salvation testimony out of your head onto paper, organized, so that you can share it, record it, and post it out. And so that's been super cool. It's completely free, man, and so people have jumped in on that. It's been awesome to see. So we're just wanting people to share their stories of hope in this season. Mm-hmm. And then a ton of Zoom calls. Last Wednesday, I was with a group from 7:30 to 8:30, and then from 8:30 to 9:30, another group, and I had recorded another message that was being played at another church. So literally, man, I mean, like I said, I never preached at 3 churches in one night, but I did, and that was awesome. So.
That's great.
I love it.
So good.
I love it.
But yeah, just pivoting, man, trying to leverage the gift of technology right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Real quick, a couple of things. First, Jay Barbier says hello.
What's up, Jay?
Yeah.
Love
and
that
then
guy.
Can you send us a link so we can let people know where to check out your stream?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'll drop it in comments, but it's just RAGEministries.com/equip. That's where you can get support. RAGEministries.com/equip, and it's an incredible deal.
Yes,
we're getting
it
great
is. Get on it,
feedback
everybody.
Yes, students and adults. I think we can. I'll see if I can drop it on here. But go ahead, man.
Cool.
So, yeah.
All right. So, with all this going on, what do you think are the benefits that we might see from this pandemic after it's all done?
Okay, so here's what I'm seeing right now. I am seeing in this season the church come together and the church go out, and that's been. So we've been really good at the church of gathering and gathering separately, but what I'm seeing is the church gathering corporately and going out missionally. And man, I'm just watching in our area and really hearing stories from all around of how the church, the followers of Jesus, man, they're looking for ways to spread hope and be light in this dark season. And so I believe that's not going to stop as we move forward. I think the church will look different in a good way. It will look different. So out of this, I believe we're learning that, hey, we've said this. Y'all heard it. You've probably said it. I've said it. Hey, the church is not a building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now that our buildings are taken away, we're like, hey, literally, the church is not a building.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my buddies, Ben Purtle, he posted out. He said the church has left the building, and I was like, dude, that's gold right there. That is so true. Praise God, the church has left the building. Now, I still love gathering. There is an important thing that happens when we gather corporately, and I can't wait to get back and gather together corporately. But I believe this is just going to spur us on. I believe, and I'm praying, I'm expecting just a revival in the church and an awakening outside of the church. Because there are literally hundreds of thousands of people that have heard the gospel online, responded to Jesus, but now listen, they've not yet been able to gather corporately with a body. So how fun is that going to be for all these new babies to come back into church? So what an opportunity for us, man. So yeah. Ooh. So I'm excited about the days ahead.
Party!
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We look forward to that.
And I got to say, too, one of the things I've really been enjoying about the whole switch to online, especially if your churches are doing Zoom or they're doing, Zoom small groups and things like that, being able to, look at people in the face instead of looking at, some teacher, we're now, looking in everybody's faces, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. One thing, I was on a Zoom when saying that I love being able to see their faces and their names.
Yes.
And you know what it made me think of, David? And I was like, that's how God sees us. Like you and I see crowds of people, right? When we're out, we see crowds. But Jesus, he sees our face and he knows our name. And I was like, dude, this is exactly how God sees us. He's like, he sees you, he sees your name. Like, this is crazy. So anyway, but I said that picture the other night. I was like, man, God doesn't just see a sea of faces. He sees your face and he knows your name. He knows your situation, what you're walking through. So yeah, man, that has been cool for me to see that. So
yeah, there's churches that are moving forward with this and keeping up with all the technology are really going to make a huge impact, and I think already are. We may not see it yet, but we, like you said, we'll see it later. There's some that are resisting it a little bit, but it's great. I'm so thankful that it's happening in this time where we can do this.
No doubt. What a blessing to have technology right now to be able to do stuff even like this.
It's true. Jay says, online presence, people that would never darken the doors of a church because of past hurt, work, or misconceptions. People are watching the church do the work of ministry on social media and telling the story of the hope of Christ. Amen to that.
Jay.
That's right, Jay. Man, 100%, bro. What a great reality. And, who knows exactly what Jay said, someone who's been invited to church a million times. They're like, I'm not going. And then they turn on the computer, they get smacked with the truth of the gospel, and then now they're like, oh, this is what they were talking about. I'm going to check that out.
Do you need that one?
Which one are we on to? Okay, a lot of your work is with high school students, which is so awesome. What is the sense that you get in regards to this pandemic and its impact on their spiritual lives?
Yeah, so, when I've been hanging out with high school students on Zoom and stuff like that, that's actually one of the questions, like, hey, because I always love doing is at the end of our time some Q&A, hey, ask me whatever you want, and stuff like that. And actually Wednesday, I just shared a message called, where's God in this mess? And man, just telling this, that God knows, God cares, God is there. And then I had those 5 points. Then God is at work, and here was the last one: God's not done. God's not finished. And I got to talk to some of these high schoolers, saying, "Listen, I know some of you, in real talk here, man. Your high school, it's finished. It's done. Like your graduation's finished. Your sports, career is finished. Like, and it can seem like God's done and like you're done, but I want you to hear this." God's not done in so many ways. He's just getting started. And so, yes, grieve in this period for things that you didn't get to go to prom. You didn't have your last game. You didn't get to play for the championship. You didn't get to walk across stage. Whatever. Yes, it's right. And it's okay to grieve for those things. But know that God's not done. He's not finished. And so I believe they're hopeful. I believe that God is preparing these students that are in this pivotal time right here, God has taken this away, and they're going to have a message for the rest of their life out of this, that they're going to be able to share how God walked and saw them through this. So, yes, there's frustration. Yes, there's disappointment. Yes, there's sadness when I talk to them. But in reality, when I talk to Christian teenagers, there's still hope, and there's still this, man, God is good even in the middle of this mess. And I'm like, that's awesome to know that the Holy Spirit has given them that kind of peace, that kind of faith to journey in the middle of this stuff. So, you know, like good old teenagers, you know, and all of us, the emotions are all over the board. I have moments in my day that I'm like, this is horrible, you know, and then moments I'm like, this is awesome. So yeah.
So true.
That's awesome. No, I think too, you hit it on the head. You know, I think there's a point that we need to take a moment to grieve.
Yes.
Like I still feel like I haven't really done that. I feel like I've been so pushing to pivot and change and do and adjust that I haven't really taken the time yet that I know I need to say, okay, things have changed drastically and I need to come to grips with that. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
All right.
Yeah, it is.
Well, those were some amazing answers to some good questions. Now we're going to go into our lightning round that we call 5 questions.
Oh,
All right, so let's hit it first. What is your favorite Bible verse?
Favorite Bible verse is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 is a life verse for me, which is a great verse for this season. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He'll make your path straight. So, man, it's a faith walk I've been on my entire journey with Jesus, and I just needed to hear that today. Thanks for asking that. I needed to hear that verse again.
Yeah, it's a good reminder
welcome.
for everybody, and I think that's one you can like pin to your bathroom mirror or something that you see it every day, just as a reminder, or the refrigerator, wherever you're going a lot.
That's right. The bathroom.
Yeah.
When you're drinking 100.
That's my personal life verse. Then my ministry life verse is Mark 16:15, go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creatures.
Yeah.
So those are my two that kind of drive what I do, walk by faith and go wherever God sends you.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Second question. What are you binge watching right now?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah, I don't binge watch. That's probably something I try not to get into, but so my wife and I, we like The Voice, so we do watch The Voice, but I was not someone who sitting down and binging. Most of my binge watching happens with my kids and whatever parts of the show they're watching. I'm trying to think what are the girls watching right now. They just finished a deal off of, it's called Spirit. It's off of Netflix. It's a silly show. And then my little boy's into Leo. It's this little track. So yeah, I binge watch kid shows.
Hashtag dad life,
right?
Right.
That's
awesome.
right, exactly.
Cute.
All right, if you could have any other job than the one you have right now, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a tough one because, so when I was young, I wanted to play for the Dallas Cowboys. So
oh yeah.
If I could have any job outside of this, I would want to. But I'm way too old, way too short, way too slow for that. But I would do something with the Cowboys for sure. That'd be awesome.
See, that's one of the reasons we love you,
Right.
Ryan.
So much fun.
Go Cowboys. All right, since we can't really go into restaurants and sit down and enjoy them, we have to do the drive-through and takeout. So what is your favorite to-go order?
Favorite to-go order would be a hamburger. Anywhere. I love hamburgers.
No specific place?
Yeah, I do. Some of my favorite places I can't get into right now, but yeah, I do love hamburgers. But as a family, our favorite one's Chipotle right now. So we love Chipotle, so we're still driving through picking that up. So,
Yeah.
But the fun thing is this. So we bought groceries and everything. So I have tally marks on our little board there. So I said we got to eat 10 meals at home before you go buy anything else out. So before we go out to eat. So
Oh, that's a
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to make sure we're not wasting the groceries we bought. So
Yeah.
we're doing a lot of eating at home. Yeah.
We are too.
That's awesome.
Yes.
All right, so you don't binge watch, but I know you're a reader. So what are you reading right now?
Yeah, so I'm reading right now the Bible. So I'm spending, I know that sounds so cheesy, but literally, I'm in depth in the Word, just reading through. I've been in the Psalms because in the season, man, if you read through the Psalms, it's like, holy smokes, David was like, God, I don't understand it. God, I'm angry. God, this is awful. And then by the end of the Psalm, he's like, God, you're awesome. God, you got this. God, you go, And so for me, I'm really just cruising through the Psalms right now, reading that. So, yeah.
Emotional roller coaster right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, man, this has been a blessing to us.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out with us. And any final thoughts you want to share with folks?
Since it's Good Friday.
Yeah, it's Good Friday. Yes. Take time today. So here's the beautiful thing about Easter weekend, this whole deal, is Friday, I think we do need to reflect on the death of Christ, his payment on the cross in our place for our sins. So take time today to reflect. I'm actually preaching a Good Friday service. It'll be live on Coastal Oaks Church. Did that for them. And so I'm super excited about that, and then preaching Easter Sunday for them. And so, I would just say, take this weekend to reflect on the gospel. Man, Jesus today died in our place and for our sins, but he's not dead. He's alive. 3 days later, rose from the grave. He is live, reigning, ready to change and transform lives. So, but today, take time with your family to just sit down and maybe read the crucifixion story, read the price that was paid, and take time to remember, what Jesus did to ultimately set us free. So there's hope in the gospel. And, enjoy your Easter weekend. Hey, I want to, if I can I drop something maybe that we're doing? I only told one other group this, so can I tell y'all something we're doing? So for the summer, our ministry next week, so you can go online right now and look at we have a landing page right now, but we're launching a digital youth camp. There's a lot of student ministries that their camps have been canceled. They can't go. They can't get there, or maybe their church isn't even allowing them to go, whatever it may be. And so we are building a digital youth camp that is going to be available for churches coming out in 2 weeks. But you can go to digitalyouthcamp.com right now and click Tell Me More and get on our list. You'll get the immediate updates on what's going on and everything. So we're super stoked about that. Camp ministry, for probably you guys and us, it's a massive time for us. And we know that every year, that gospel that we celebrate this weekend, God changes lives through these camps. And so we wanted to offer a resource. Our ministry is super passionate about this. And so, hey, if you guys get a chance, go check it out, digitalyouthcamp.com. And just click Tell Me More. You'll get the update. It's going to go live in 2 weeks with everything that's happening. We're super stoked about that. So, like I said, it's that pivot we're having to make right now. And this is one of the pivots we're making. And so we just believe God's in it. And we're excited to be able to share that with people.
I love it. And, Andy Carroll from Kansas, I believe. Andy, is that where you're from?
Yeah.
I hope that's right. Anyways, he says, love it, more info. So... so be sure to.
For sure. Digitalyouthcamp.com. Go there, click it on there. You can fill out the form, and you will get the first update. It will hit your inbox before it hits anybody else's. So go there. You'll get premier access and everything. So digitalyouthcamp.com.
Fantastic.
Texas. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Andy. I know exactly where you are. Sorry, my bad. Awesome. Yeah, go check that out.
Yes.
Well, Ryan, thank you for your time today. Again, such a blessing. Keep rocking it out. You are killing it out there.
Ministries.
Yeah. Go check these guys out, guys.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. Keep doing what you're doing. I love you guys. Stay at it. God's in this. Man, I'm excited to see what the days ahead hold.
Me too.
Cool.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Take care.
Ryan. We'll talk soon.
Peace. All right.
I love him so much.
So good. Love it. Yeah, so if you guys want to connect with Ryan, he's an awesome dude. Be sure to go to we've got in the comments, all his information is right there. So
Yes.
go chat with him. We need a mute.
Yeah, I know. Sure.
I think he's muting too.
There you go. Yeah, cool.
Thank you,
Awesome.
sir.
Cool. Yeah, and Andy, yes, I sorry, I don't know why I thought you can't. Texas. I know. As soon as I said, I'm like, no, I know exactly where it is.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, hey, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Brian is fantastic.
He sure is.
I love him so much.
And I guess we could remind everybody what we're offering to churches as well right now.
Sure.
Tell them about that?
Yeah, so we have a kind of a digital virtual magic show.
Yeah.
Is what we're calling it. It's 20-ish minutes pre-recorded show. But and then we do a live Q&A with your students or your church or whoever. So
Free.
For free. Yeah. So if you're interested in that, be sure to drop us a line, and we'll give you more information.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And then soon
Another good way to connect with either just students or church-wide. Good for families as well. Something fun instead of just staring at the TV.
Yes.
Stare at us instead.
That's right.
That's weird.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So a couple weeks ago, or last week, I guess. Feels like a couple weeks ago. We had
yesterday felt like 5 days. The day before felt like 3 weeks.
We're in the middle of the jerk. We had Jeniffer Dake on with us as one of our special guests.
Yeah.
And she is hanging out. She got stuck in Pennsylvania and on a farm.
Yeah.
In a city.
She's from Tennessee, but she just went up to visit family for a spring break, thinking that'd be fun. And then along came the pandemic, and the country shut down. So she's there until
whenever. So she said, while I'm here, I could share some of my stories. And so we have today the first episode of Farm Stories with Jeniffer Dake. So here you guys. Hope you enjoy this. Check this out. Nope, that's not it. Let's do that.
Welcome to the Good Friday version of Farm Stories from a City House. Let's remember my last experience at the City House was that 60 wild turkeys chased me inside to be fed. It's not very city. Today, as I was getting ready to clean up the fruit that was kind of rotten, we're going to throw it off the deck. This is tradition, right? See these lovely people right here? Married 50 years this year? Yes, part of our life here in the City House was that when we were done with food, we didn't compost it. We threw it out the back. We fed squirrels and raccoons and all sorts of animals. One of our favorite was deer. Why? Because you can kind of train them. So deer will eat out of your hand. They'll come up to your house, all sorts of things. One of the ways that we feed the deer is we take the fruit and we throw it off the back deck towards them. Now, apples are great. They kind of throw like a baseball, right? So the deer all line up at the edge of the wood and we just throw apples. And they don't land near them, but they hear them land and they run around and find them. Today, same old, deer lined up. Mom went out with fruit, starting to pitch it off the back deck. I mean, sometimes you twirl a banana. I don't know. You got it. She's just throwing stuff, right? So me, being the grown adult child that I am, decide to go out there and give my mom a little bit of a hard time. I'm like, hey, Mom, if you got that apple like closer to the deer, maybe it would actually get it. And my mom looks at me with this like, I can't believe you just said that to me. You're my grown daughter. Look, right? And she takes this apple and she's got like the intensity of a professional baseball player in her eyes. But she has the precision of a sharpshooter in this moment. And she takes this woman right here, takes this apple and pitches it like I have never seen before at this deer. And I'm watching it, I'm like, and the deer's eyes are getting bigger. That apple came hit the deer in the face. I'm not lying. Like, boom, rolls off, boom, straight to the ground. And the deer just stood there like, what now? Like, what do I do now, right? It took it a few minutes and it looked down, snarfled around, picked up the apple and ran off. And I was like, and my mom just looks at me and goes, is that close enough? I was like, oh yeah, that was close enough, Mom. Thanks so much. Thank you. So why do I tell you this story on Good Friday? Why is this my Good Friday farm story? Here's the deal. Those deer, we throw that food out there, they snarfle around and they find it. But not all of them. Some of them take a minute, they snarfle, they look at us, they snort back at you when they're mad, they snort, and they run off like, why didn't you feed me? And you're like, you're a deer, go find your own food, right? Good Friday. Once Holy Friday. Once before Black Friday was a shopping day, it was Black Friday. It was a horrible day to experience, to be at the foot of the cross in the moment that Christ died. Black, death, scary, grief. And yet some of the people there said there has got to be goodness in this. And they snarfled around and they looked for it and they found the blessing of God in the midst of Black Friday. And they took it and they ran with it and they waited. Some people looked around and decided there is no good in this and everything I believed was wrong and they left. And others, for them, their faith was rocked and yet they were shown the very presence of God so boldly it hit them in the face. And they knew that was the Son of God. And it was beautiful. My prayer for you on this Good Friday is that no matter how much darkness, death, hurt, frustration, bleakness seems to be around you, you know that there is the blessing of the Lord waiting. And it is our job to use our eyes and our hearts to look for it. As Mr. Rogers says, look for the helpers. As my Bible says, God is in control. And he's got a plan for you and for I. And today is Good Friday because it is good for us. Blessings.
Unmute. All right. Well, that was fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of that one? Crazy, right?
Yeah. She's so sweet. She's like, I'm up here. I can send you some. And so I said, sure.
Yeah.
And it looks like that might be a regular segment, at least through the quarantine.
It might be. It might be.
We hope you like Jeniffer because she'll be back.
She's got some great stories.
She really does. And she tells them so well. Like,
Yeah.
she's so animated.
Cool.
I love it. All right,
Here
gang.
we go. It is Good Friday.
It is Good Friday. Yeah.
What?
I don't know. You look like you were going somewhere with that.
No.
Okay.
Something like that.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I know, Josh, she's fantastic, isn't she?
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we look forward to seeing you next Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
With another guest.
With another guest. We hope.
So stay tuned.
We'll see you next week at Friday at 10 a.m.
Yeah, we're excited to enjoy this weekend. Just remember what it's all about, that Jesus did, in fact, die and rose again. So Sunday is coming, people, and we rejoice in
And he
that.
did it for you, like
Yes.
specifically you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
It's just beautiful.
Happy Easter, guys.
Happy Easter.
Bye.
Bye.